Hey everybody, it's James here from the Sawyer Family Reviews channel, bringing you another monstrous review from the Mad Monster Party line of 2012 from Diamond Select Toys. We're taking a look today at Fang. Let's check him out. Alright, so here's a look at Fang in the package. We've talked about how these are carded figures as opposed to the usual Diamond Select Toys thing where it's a huge clamshell bubble with a cardboard that wraps around it. These are just a straight card back in a bubble. Fang really fills up his bubble, though. Like, his feet are all the way to the bottom, the top of his head's all the way to the top. Mad Monster Party logo here, Fang down below, a picture of the puppet from the movie. Back of the card shows all three releases from the line with a bio for each one of them, so it's the same card back reused again and again. For Fang, it says, Baron Frankenstein's most famous creation, the monster Fang is a hulking brute and deceptively mild-mannered. Although he has been browbeaten into submission by his overbearing mate, he is quick to act when she is threatened by Dracula. Besides fighting, the only joy Fang seems to find, is from peeking at the Baron's lovely assistant Francesca through the cracks of doors. Look at the Fang being a peeping Tom. Bird watching. All right, let's get him out of there. Okay, we've got Fang out of the box. Hey, did you know why he's called Fang? This may be a little bit of trivia for you guys. If you're watching this and you love Mad Monster Party, you probably already know this. But he is called Fang because Phyllis Diller was the voice of the monster's mate in the movie. And Phyllis Diller was a very famous comedian. She did this whole bit about her husband, Fang Face, and sometimes she just called him Fang. So the Frankenstein monster is called Fang in that because it's Phyllis Diller playing the mate, so he would be her husband. So that's why he's called Fang, in case you ever were curious. Okay, so Fang here, I've got him on a doll stand, as you can see. If you've already watched the review for the Baron, which was the first review I've put up from this line, you know that these don't come with stands that actually support the figures. They do come with these really cool sculpted Mad Monster Party stands that look neat. They got a cool brick pattern up top with like some muddy area, and then a really nice rendition of the Mad Monster Party logo, which is purple, and this is a raised sculpt, and it actually has the transition of the white into like the greenish yellow color. So it's a really cool looking stand. I just wish it had a peg or a clip or something, because this doesn't really support the figure, and these figures are quite top heavy, so they really need something to support them. Baron kind of stands well on his own, thankfully. He doesn't topple too much, but Fang here, if I had him off this stand, his upper body is so heavy that he would just be toppling over repeatedly. So that is the stand. He only comes with one other accessory, and that is this torch. You see these in the Baron's castle, kind of hanging on the walls and stuff. It's got a nice clear orange translucent flame, and then a gray base to it. It is a little warped from inside the package. He doesn't hold it all that well because his hands are both quite open. You can kind of work this little ridge in here and sort of have him holding it like that. But it's not like it's a solid grip on it. He doesn't have like a hand that's gripping to hold that all that well. Height on him, this line is 7-inch scale, as most Diamond Select figures are. But since the Baron here, if you've watched that review, you know that he's measured in at 7 inches tall. You can see how big Fang is. He is huge. This is a very, very big figure. Let's take the ruler up to him here. He's coming in almost at the tip of his head. In the back, it's right at around 10 inches, but going towards the front as it slopes up, it's more like 10 1/4. So this is a big honking figure, and he's solid too. There's hollow spots in the bottom of the feet. They all have these peg holes too, which is disappointing if there's no pegs on the stands, because they all have peg holes. I'm going to do this just for a second so you can see. But yeah, he's leaning. He's still standing, but he is leaning forward when he's pitching forward, because his upper body, his torso, is very heavy. So if you have him in the Frankenstein pose, there's no chance he's going to be able to do that without falling over. So let's get him back on. I'm talking about his articulation since I got him off there anyway. So Fang here has basically the same articulation as Baron that we've already looked at, but he does have one extra joint, and that's a rotation at the calf muscle, where they plug into the pants. So those rotate a little bit here and there. It still doesn't help much with the stance. Rotating him back will make it even more so that the balance is going to be off, like he's going to be top heavy. I'm curious if maybe you could heat this up and bend those back some and have him leaning back more, but I would just say put him on a stand. These aren't really meant for posing and playing and all that stuff. We've got rotation at the waist. And that feels like, yeah, that can make it all the way around on there. Then he's got these two little holes in the backs of his legs. It's almost like bendy holes, but these aren't bendies. So then we've got rotation at the shoulders that go all the way around, and they can hinge out to about there. We've got rotation at the wrists where the arms plug in, and then we've got rotation at the neck. So these are not super articulated pieces. They're really meant for display. And they do make for an awesome display. They are dead on the way the puppets look in Mad Monster Party. In case you haven't seen Mad Monster Party, I didn't say this in the last video. Mad Monster Party is a Rankin and Bass stop-motion movie, much in the same vein as their Rudolph movie. It's just not quite on the same level of popularity as Rudolph and their Christmas endeavors. But Mad Monster Party is sort of their Halloween endeavor, featuring all the classic monsters: Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Invisible Man. It's got everybody in it, and they're basically all going to this island where the Baron has now discovered this formula for destruction. He's done creation, and now he's doing destruction, and he's going to retire. So they're all heading there for this big convention type of deal. It's really, really fun. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you watch it. It's a great Halloween movie. And so all the puppets are represented here by Diamond Select Toys. Well, not all the puppets. The three that they did the Baron, as we've been looking at. We've got Fang here, Frankenstein's monster, and then we've got the Count, which we'll be looking at eventually. So they did 3 figures in this line based on the movie. The look of Fang here, he changes looks in the movie. He has like a tuxedo on later on. But when you first see Fang, he's in this outfit, which is Frankenstein's outfit that's very similar to his look from Son of Frankenstein, where it's got sort of the furrier brown overlay on top of his black outfit. The sculpt work on this is amazing. You can actually see like wrinkles on the top of his head, like wrinkles going into here. A lot of texturing here and there to give it the look of the skin of that puppet. He's got bolts on his wrists. The fingernails are painted on each hand, even though it's tough to tell. The fingernails are painted, the toenails are painted. So the sculpt is really nice, and the paintwork's really nice. It's got a nice wash over all of this. It just does a fantastic job of looking like that puppet. Like, look at that face. That face is great. It has a Karloff look to the face. Even so, look, we've got 2 Karloff characters here, basically. And they both have a very Karloff look in their face, which I think is intentional on Fang to kind of have him mirror the Baron's look, since Karloff voiced the Baron, and Karloff is famous as Frankenstein. Frankenstein's monster, rather. So these are just awesome. Super cool figures. Now, when they originally released, they were only like $25. Nowadays, these figures are $100 plus each when you buy them packaged. So they're not cheap. You've got to be a pretty big fan of Mad Monster Party to pay that kind of money for them now, but I will say that they are high-quality figures. They're really nicely done. I wish Diamond Select Toys had done a second wave of these and a third wave, and I wish these were as popular as, say, their Nightmare Before Christmas figures, so we've gotten a whole Mad Monster Party line. But that being said, it does have 3 of my favorite characters in the first wave: Baron, Fang, and Count. I wish we'd have got a Felix Flanken, but what can you do? That about wraps it up on this one. I will be eventually taking a look at Count, but I may hold off on him and do some other monster reviews soon. We're going to do a bunch of monster reviews leading up to Halloween, hopefully. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, notify. Leave a comment down below what you think about Mad Monster Party, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.